Three children and 3 staff members have been killed in a school shooting in the U.S. state of Tennessee. The 28-year-old suspect, identified as Audrey Hale, once attended the same school. Hale was armed with 3 guns, including a semi-automatic rifle, and was shot dead by the police. The motive behind the shooting is under investigation. There have been 89 school shootings in the U.S. in 2023 alone. U.S. President Joe Biden has called upon Congress to pass a law that bans assault weapons. He called the latest school shooting incident sick and said that the U.S. needs to do more to stop gun violence. U.S. First Lady Jill Biden also condemned the shooting. She said, and I quote, "Our children deserve better." Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky has said that Russian troops are holding the nuclear power plant in Zaporizhzhia hostage. He added that safety cannot be guaranteed until Russian troops leave. His remarks come as a team of the International Atomic Energy Agency reached Ukraine to visit the plant. This is Europe's largest nuclear power plant. It has been under Russian control since the early weeks of the invasion. Germany has delivered 18 Leopard 2 tanks to Ukraine. The country is preparing to send more tanks. German Chancellor Olaf Scholz made the announcement during his trip to the Netherlands. Germany, Denmark and the Netherlands will finance the tank repairs. Earlier, Scholz had insisted that the US had to deliver Abrams battle tanks to Ukraine if Germany were to send Leopard 2 tanks. NATO troops held evacuation drills on the Romanian coast, close to the Ukrainian border. The naval forces practiced evacuating civilians from coastal areas in the Danube Delta. It is an area that borders Ukraine's Odessa region. Odessa has witnessed a number of missile strikes since Russia launched a full-scale war last year. The drills are a part of the Sea Shield 23 exercise. It involves more than 3,000 troops from NATO countries. The Hungarian parliament has ratified Finland's bid to join NATO. 182 lawmakers voted in favor, while 6 voted against the move. This means that 29 out of 30 NATO member states have ratified Finland's membership. The last member, Turkey, is expected to approve Finland's NATO membership next month. The border between Finland and Russia stretches over 1,000 kilometers. Finland applied for a NATO membership after Russia invaded Ukraine. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has announced that he will delay the controversial judicial overhaul plan. He will seek more time to reach a compromise on the proposal. Opposition parties in Israel have said they would work to reach an agreement if the agreement is sincere. The judicial reforms have been suspended after weeks of protests. Netanyahu's decision to fire the country's defense minister for opposing his plan triggered more protests. North Korea has unveiled new and smaller nuclear warheads. This comes as the country's leader, Kim Jong-un, called to ramp up the production of weapons-grade nuclear material. This is to grow the country's arsenal. Kim Jong-un will also examine North Korea's nuclear counterattack operation plans. North Korea has been ramping up military tests and firing short-range ballistic missiles. North Korean leader Kim Jong-un has placed the entire city of Hyesan under lockdown after 653 bullets went missing. More than 200,000 people will remain in lockdown until the lost bullets are found. The bullets went missing on March 7th. When the soldiers realized this, they tried to find the bullets themselves instead of reporting it to the authorities. A senior Honduran official has said that Taiwan must vacate its embassy in Honduras within 30 days. This comes after the country established diplomatic ties with China. Deputy Foreign Minister Antonio Garcia said, and I quote, 30 days is more than enough time to pack up and leave. He added that officials aim for an orderly and friendly exit. China considers Taiwan a part of its own territory and has threatened to claim it by force. Taiwan's President Tsai Ing-wen is seeking to build closer ties with the Czech Republic. This comes as Honduras built diplomatic ties with China. A 150-person Czech delegation is in Taipei. Tsai said that Taiwan and the Czech Republic have both been through authoritarian rule and deeply understand that democracy has not come easy. She added that the two countries can become firm partners to unfold democracy and freedom. China has issued a report on human rights violations in the United States in the year 2022. The report said, and I quote, "Chronic diseases such as money politics, racial discrimination, gun and political violence, as well as wealth polarization are rampant in the US." The report pointed out that the US is a country defined by extreme violence and that people are threatened by violent crime and violent law enforcement. Pakistan's drug regulatory authorities' controversial pricing policy and the depreciating local currency have led to an acute shortage of life-saving medicines in the country. This is according to a new report. Pakistan is facing a major economic crisis. The country is under high external debt. While most oral medicines like syrups are locally produced, Pakistan imports a majority of vaccines and anti-cancer medicines. Teachers in the South American country of Venezuela are protesting to demand better salaries. Protesters took to the streets in the capital city, Caracas. They held up placards, chanted slogans, and marched to the education ministry. Experts say Venezuela's inflation is estimated to have reached 300% last year. The monthly salary of a public school teacher in Venezuela is about $10. For university professors, it's between $60 to $80. Authorities in the South American country of Peru have seized $20 million worth of cocaine disguised as ceramic tiles. The drugs were destined to reach Turkey. Authorities say this is the first known incident in which the drugs were being taken to Turkey. Peru and Colombia are among the top global producers of cocaine. Air quality in northern Thailand has climbed to hazardous levels. This comes as a result of seasonal agricultural burning. More than 4,000 hotspots have been detected in northern Thailand in the past 24 hours. Prime Minister Prayut Chan-o-cha has said that he has mobilized relevant agencies to reduce the pollution's impact on the public. The South American country of Bolivia is facing devastation caused by floods. This was triggered after a river's banks burst following torrential rains. In some cities, residential streets have turned into rivers. Last month, torrential rains and floodwaters displaced more than 5,000 people. At least 7 people have been killed and 23 are injured in a landslide in the South American nation Ecuador's Andean region. The landslide was triggered by heavy rains. Rescue workers have been deployed to search for survivors. Heavy rains recently destroyed roads, bridges, and other infrastructure across Ecuador. Earlier this month, the country's president declared a state of emergency in 14 provinces affected by severe weather and a strong earthquake. Parts of eastern Spain are witnessing wildfires. They are boosted by winds and dry weather conditions. Emergency services have asked some of the towns to be cleared. The country's prime minister has said that unseasonal warm weather is a consequence of climate change. Spain is experiencing a long-term drought after 3 years of below-average rainfall. Vanuatu, a country in Oceania, hopes that more countries will sign its United Nations climate change resolution. The vote will begin this week. The resolution seeks legal clarity on the obligation of states to take action on climate change. It draws attention to the vulnerability of small islands hit by worsening weather events. The resolution has already been joined by 119 states. The Dow climbed 0.6% and the S&P 500 gained just under 0.2%, while Nasdaq slid nearly 0.5%. Tech-related growth shares, which have had a strong quarter, weighed on the Nasdaq on Monday. Crypto shares were also down after Binance and its CEO have been sued by the Trading Commission. Long-running talks between Britain's Royal Mail and the Communication Workers Union are on the brink of collapse. Sticking points include not only pay but also changes to working practices, with the company arguing that the two are interdependent. The company's board have threatened to put the loss-making postal service into a form of administration if a deal cannot be agreed. The Royal Mail is on course to make operating losses of £350 to £400 million this year. Binance Holding Limited and its CEO Changpeng Zhao have been sued by the US Commodity Futures Trading Commission. The company has allegedly been breaking trading and derivatives rules. Binance is the biggest cryptocurrency exchange in the world. Crypto shares tanked across the board on Monday after news spread Binance Holding and its CEO have been sued. Barclays has said recent allegations against its former chief executive, Jes Staley, are serious and new. The bank statement comes following US lawsuits that allege Staley had a close relationship with Jeffrey Epstein and alleged involvement in his sex trafficking operation. Staley left the bank in November 2021. British billionaire Richard Branson's cash-strapped Virgin Orbit holdings will extend an unpaid furlough for most of its employees. This as talks seeking new funding have not materialized till now. Virgin Orbit has been teetering on bankruptcy after a January rocket failure and struggles to raise funds. It had initially furloughed nearly all its 750 employees on March 15th. Disney CEO Bob Iger has said his company will begin laying off staff starting this week. This will be the first of 3 rounds of expected cuts following his announcement in February that the company would axe 7,000 jobs. The cuts to Disney's global workforce are part of a multi-billion-dollar cost-cutting initiative. It's aimed at streamlining the company's operations in a period of media industry turmoil. English football club Chelsea says its collateral damage of the conflict in Ukraine. The club has posted a loss of almost $149 million for the 2021-22 season. It has blamed extraordinary expenses and a loss of revenue after sanctions were imposed on former owner Roman Abramovich. The Russian billionaire put the club up for sale last March following the start of the war in Ukraine. Elon Musk has announced that from April 15th, only verified accounts will be eligible to appear in the For You section of recommendations. According to Musk, this is the only realistic way to address the issue of advanced AI bot swarms taking over. Musk also stated that voting in polls will require verification for the same reason. This move is likely to have a significant impact on the way users interact with the For You section and polls. Japan's lawmakers are planning to compile a proposal next month urging the government to ban social networking services such as TikTok. The proposal to ban the apps comes after allegations that they're being used to spread disinformation. A string of Western governments and institutions have banned TikTok in recent weeks. These include the UK, the Netherlands, Belgium, and New Zealand. In April 2022, Meta decided to allow users in Sri Lanka to solicit drugs on Facebook. This was done to fight an ongoing medical supply crisis, despite the posts violating Facebook policy. The decision relied on a little-known loophole within Meta called the Spirit of the Policy Allowance. Experts are criticizing the lack of transparency around this policy. FIFA President Gianni Infantino has said it's important to have stability in football. His comments come after renewing a memorandum of understanding with the European Club Association. As part of the agreement, FIFA's compensation paid to clubs that release players for the Men's World Cup will be increased. It will go up 70% to $355 million for the 2026 and 2030 tournaments. Germany's Kai Havertz and Nico Schlotterbeck will miss the upcoming friendly against Belgium scheduled for early Wednesday morning. Both players are injured. They'll be replaced by Thilo Kehrer and Serge Gnabry. Niklas Füllkrug scored twice to secure a 2-0 victory over Peru in Germany's friendly on Saturday as the Euro 2024 hosts launched their mission to rebuild a competitive team for next year's tournament. Barcelona's famous Camp Nou stadium was nearly sold out on Sunday for the finale of a seven-a-side league built around streaming and social media followers. The Kings League, as it's called, is the idea of Barcelona defender Gerard Piqué. The new concepts include secret cards that each team can play to send off a player from the other team. Teams can even play 1v1 on the whole pitch or even get their side's president to take a penalty. The face of a young Diego Maradona gazes down from a mural in Naples' Miracle Square. The city is gearing up for a celebration it hasn't enjoyed since the Argentine football star was at his peak more than 30 years ago. Their team is cruising towards a third Serie A triumph and prepares for its first ever quarter-final in the Champions League, the elite European club competition. Antonio Conte, whose 16-month stint at Premier League club Tottenham Hotspur ended by mutual agreement, took to Instagram on Monday evening to reflect on his reign. Conte has thanked everyone at Tottenham who appreciated and shared his passion and intensity following his departure as head coach. He had not spoken publicly since his post-match press conference following Spurs' 3-3 draw at Southampton, where he labelled players selfish. Greek second seed Stefanos Tsitsipas has defeated Chilean qualifier Christian Garin 6-3, 4-6, 6-4 to reach the fourth round of the Miami Open. The match remained on serve until Tsitsipas broke for a 5-3 lead in the opening frame. He will now face Russian 14th seed Karen Chanchanov, who reached the round of 16 with a 6-2, 6-4 win over Czech Jiří Lehečka. The International Boxing Association is battling for control of Olympic boxing by accusing the International Olympics Committee of misuse of information about its officials. The IBA has said that it has deep concerns regarding basic IOC governance, impartiality and transparency principles during the monitoring process ahead of next year's Paris Olympics. The IOC is yet to comment on the matter. Australian F1 driver Daniel Ricciardo has made a spectacular return to his own backyard. He took a Red Bull Formula One car for a spin across some of the country's most iconic locations. The adventure started in the Wild West before heading to the Sea Cliff and finishing at Australia's most famous racetrack, Mount Panorama. Ricciardo's return to his country coincides with the Australian Grand Prix later this week. Stefano Domenicali has repeated his desire to see practice sessions removed from the Formula One race weekend structure. At a normal Grand Prix, there are 3 practice sessions before qualifying on a Saturday and the main event on the Sunday. Speaking at the first MotoGP race weekend of the 2023 season, he asserted that fans watching on TV are generally not interested in watching those sessions. Jantaki, a United Nations expert advising the International Olympic Committee, has provoked outrage. She has claimed that Russian soldiers who have fought in Ukraine should be allowed to compete at the Paris 2024 Games as long as they have not committed war crimes. The IOC is expected to offer updated guidelines to sports about how Russian and Belarusian athletes can qualify for Paris. Netflix gets a legal notice for Episode 1, Season 2 of The Big Bang Theory. The legal notice has been sent by Indian political analyst Mithun Vijay Kumar. He claims the episode uses a derogatory term against actor Madhuri Dixit. He claims the content promotes sexism and misogyny. He has asked Netflix to remove the episode or face legal action. Singers Taylor Swift and Harry Styles were among the big winners at the iHeartRadio Awards. Swift received Song of the Year and Innovator Award. Styles was named Artist of the Year. The awards took place on Monday night at LA's Dolby Theatre. Pink and Lenny Kravitz were among those who performed live. The 80th Venice Film Festival will honor director Liliana Cavani. Actor Tony Leung Chiu Wai will also be felicitated at the ceremony. The two will receive the Golden Lions for Lifetime Achievement. The festival begins on the 30th of August. Singer Madonna has added 8 more dates to the US leg of her global tour. A new show has been scheduled for Nashville on December 22nd. Madonna will put the spotlight on Tennessee's anti-LGBTQ+ bills. She will donate a portion of the proceeds to a trans rights organization. The Nashville show will be held at the Bridgestone Arena. The release date for the first spin-off of The Walking Dead has been announced. The Walking Dead: Dead City Season 1 will release on the 18th of June. The show follows protagonists Maggie and Negan, who travel in a post-apocalyptic Manhattan. It stars Lauren Cohen and Jeffrey Dean Morgan. The show will air on AMC and AMC+. Martin Scorsese's Killers of the Flower Moon will release in October. The film will have a limited release on the 6th of October, which will be followed by a worldwide release on the 20th. The film will also be streamed on Apple+. The film stars Leonardo DiCaprio, Robert De Niro, and Brendan Fraser. Season 3 of Emmy Award-winning series The White Lotus will be shot in Thailand. Creator Mike White hints at exploring death and Eastern religion and spirituality. Production for the new season is yet to begin. Casting details are yet to be announced. Archie Comics is eyeing 80s horror genre for the next anthology. Chilling Adventures presents Camp Pickens will be set in a summer camp. The anthology will have the teen gang face 3 horrifying scenarios. The stories are named Bug Juice, The Curse of Camp Pickens, and Down and Out and Death Cursed. The anthology will be available from the 21st of June. The teaser for Season 3 of reality show The Kardashians is out. Kim Kardashian can be seen making tearful confessions in the teaser. The show follows the Kardashian-Jenner families. The new season will launch on the 25th of May on Hulu. New episodes will be released every Thursday. Game show Deal or No Deal is making a comeback in the UK after 7 years. The show last aired in 2016. Television presenter Stephen Mulhern takes over from Noel Edmonds as host. Casting for the show is currently underway. The show will be available on ITV and ITVX.